Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Puffy's protege, Shyne was convicted and could face up to 25 years in prison. Has that conviction made this victory bittersweet?
It was. It was a sad part of it. It really was. And I think it affected all of us, the fact you got to know this young man as a young man who had a very promising career. Now he has to face up to this. And, of course, there'll be an appeal also. But that made it bittersweet. But it didn't take away from the fact this was a stunning, complete victory for Sean Combs.
But why did you go with Bad Boy? I mean, you know, keep it all the way realer. You understand? It was like the Bulls. Right. That's like Kobe coming out of high school and Phil Jackson getting at him like, yo, man, why don't you come with us, you know, and get the 7th ring? You understand? You know, so I was like, man. Where them cowards at? We gon' handle this beat. Turn your mic off, shorty. See me in the streets. Screw peace till I'm resting in the dried up flesh is finished. I don't know how to chill till I'm in the mall. You know me, I don't need no introduction in this. Big gun, big tip, $500,000 on the wrist. Sitting in my Continental, thinking about potential connects. I live it all, just pencil the best parts of the life of this quintessential hustler. When I pull a slide back, them cows be hoping they faces don't get left open. You understand? Shirt soaking, brain smoking up in the ocean floating. Shine, pole, dough, stack, y'all, rap, cats is trash. I don't give a how much records you sold, trying to be me. Keep it real, you dying to be me. You all know how I feel, don't you? To have a murder charge, tote guns at American Music Awards, and live life against odds, screaming screw the world. Gangster without a cause, Mac 10s and fake friends, lawyers litigating homicide. 25 is what I'm facing, but I'm still trail, holding, rolling, gully till I'm frozen, closed in the box with embalming fluid, veins pumping ice. First and 15, keep that cane pumping right. Hard white, cold cash, hold fast, roll fast through the city, so gas. No ass, straight head, I'm running from the feds. Screw comma rap, Sam G and Connor. All I got in this world is my fifth and honor. Gangster mannerism, lyrical vandalism. Cows be burning up on the gums until them hammers hit them. We need help. But until then, I'ma take that Mac off the shelf and hold these streets hostage. Blowing smoke out my nostrils. Every breath is a step to an untimely death. So, Christina Aguilera called up here yesterday and she said you were big gangster, she was little gangster. Oh yeah? And that you were gonna go with her to the VH1 Fashion Awards or something like that. Is that true?
She little gangster, I'm big gangster, but I might do the Tyson fight tomorrow.
Oh yeah?
I don't know if I'm
so you're not gonna do the Puffy Jennifer thing and cause a havoc? Because you know they start throwing stuff at you. Yeah. Kobe got Puerto Rican girlfriend. They lost their mind, man.
Yeah. Nah, I'm doing a Tyson fight tomorrow.
You gonna go check it out?
Yeah, I might walk Zab Judah out.
Really?
Yeah.
Bad boy.
Perform my new single.
All right. So you got an amazing story. I wanna hit them with this if they haven't heard it. You grew up in Belize, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But that's good, but it wasn't a good time for you.
Yeah, man, it was, you know, Pops, you know, fronting, you know, acting like he ain't know he had a son. You understand? You know, mother just trying her best to make sure I had food in my stomach, you know. It wasn't pretty.
Right, yeah. That's right. So you came to the States for a better life with your moms, and you're real close to her, and you gave her a shout out. But I want you to tell the story, because I want them to hear that, because a lot of young cats out there, what you did decide to clean up your act, because you were getting in some bad things.
Yeah, man, you know, I was in the streets and I got shot, you understand, and it was like, that was the last straw for my moms, you know, she couldn't take it no more. She was like, that's it, you understand, she just broke down, you know what I mean, about to go in depression. And I was like, yo, that shook me up, you understand, I was like, can't lose my mother, you understand? So I was like, that mean, you know, don't go outside, just come straight from school, I even started going to school, you understand? And just, you know, go inside and lock myself in my room, you understand, just for my moms. And that's when I started writing these little raps.
So then things started getting better for you, and I heard you were discovered outside of a barbershop.
Yeah, man, you know, I was rapping every day, you understand? I just had fever. One day I just finished getting my little cut, and I just seen this cat, just walked up to him, like, yo, I rap, you understand? Just started spitting. And he turned out to be Foxy Brown manager, Don Poole, my man Manny, you understand? And they took me to Russell Simmons and Sylvia Rome, and Jimmy Iovine, and all that.
Oh, that's respect. Yeah. So what's your relationship with Rivera? You know, was down with Biggie with Junior Mafia. How'd that roll around?
Yeah, I mean, was another one of the cats that was trying to sign me. You understand? You know, one love to him, he was always one of the cats whenever somebody had something to say about me. It's like, nah, man, that little kid is the truth, you understand? Because I used to stalk him at the studio, just run up on him and just be rhyming for hours, you understand, with my little books and my Nike box, you understand?
In April of this year, Shyne signed a highly publicized deal for his new album, Godfather Buried Alive. The project is part of a joint venture between his own Gangland label and Def Jam, reportedly worth $3 million.
I wasn't signing as an artist, so anybody that want to talk to me as an artist, you know, just don't talk to me at all. I'm not working for anyone anymore. I'm the boss.
The biggest mystery surrounding Shyne's new CD is exactly how one records an album while serving 10 years in a maximum security prison.
Let me ask you about Godfather Buried Alive. One of the main questions I think people have about the record is the time frame that this music was written in. Is the majority of the music on the album stuff that you'd already recorded, or is it stuff that's been done more recently?
You know, I can't really get into that. You dig? It doesn't matter. I can't get into it, but it doesn't matter.
Why is it? Can you tell me why you're not supposed to really talk about?
No, I just don't. It's not something. Yeah, because you know, like some of the stuff, you know, has been there, but I really don't like more or less. Kanye West did that. So once again, you know, it just shows how ahead of everything the music I was making then or now is. Like, it's still all relevant. That's the hottest producer in the game, and he happened to produce that record.
Obviously, a question that a lot of people are wondering is how you record your tracks, how you record vocals when you're in prison.
Yeah, you don't record vocals when you're in prison.
Did you not do some stuff over the phone or in a... Okay.
I guess this ain't just music, because jail only made me much more ruthless.
Shyne's evasiveness may leave the age and origin of his new music in doubt, but there's little uncertainty surrounding the centerpiece track, For the Record, a song in which Shyne sizes up one of the biggest rappers in the game.
For the Record, at least in part, really seems to go after 50 Cent. Can you talk a bit about if you have any particular beef with 50 and where that comes from?
I mean, you hear me? He's a kid to me, you know. He's like, you know, he's like a little dude, you know. And here we call him our little homies, like, you know. I was just falling back, and you know, I got word that, you know, he might have said something he wasn't supposed to say.
This is about what he said about you possibly talking to Irv about signing with him.
Yeah.
It was late last year when 50 Cent unleashed a lyrical tirade against Shyne on New York's Hot 97, after learning that rival Irv Gotti was trying to sign Shyne to Murder, Inc.
I heard Irv trying to sign Shyne, so I ain't got no love for him. Tell him 50 said he's soft, he won't shoot up the club again.
It's one thing if he would have said it and stood by it. That's what I said. You have a problem, whatever. But he said it, and at the same time, he was trying to sign me to G-Unit Records.
Yo, Paul, what's up, family? This is Shy Money from G-Unit Records. Seeing what's up with your situation, and if you know interested in signing to G-Unit Records.
So why would you try to sign me, but then you go on the radio and talk like you don't know? Even if you wasn't trying to sign me, bro, you know what I do. Like, I'm not no Liz Aim. I really do this. This is my life. Right. I'm not rapping about something that I seen. This is what I do. And I'm sure you heard about what I've been doing since I've been behind the wall. You understand? So I'm really that. I'm not here because my security guard had a gun in the car, you know, and I was trying to get on the front page of Daily News. I'm here for real things. You know, it just made me look at him like, oh man, he's a joke. You can't be serious.
You don't want to ride, you want to get rich and hide. Just would have died, they shot me 9 times.
Is this going to turn into back and forth beef with him now?
Like I said, that's a little dude to me. Like, this can't be no beef with me. You understand? It can't go nowhere. Like, he can say whatever he want to say. This is America, you dig? But I'm not interested in him, and I'm not interested in the response. And, you know, it's over for me. Like, you know, I said what I had to say. I can't say no more than that, right?
Hey, you know the situation. Shit got Popalot. I'm back on MOBB business. Headshot City. We headed to Brooklyn. East Flatbush, I'm back home. We talking about one of our own right now. Now, today, I'm going to say we're going to be talking about one of the most interesting hip-hop artists of our era for a few different reasons that I'm going to try to highlight. And that person that I'm speaking of is going to be a guy by the name of Jamal Shyne Burrow, or Shine Poe, or Shine Kill, the first name that I know him by. Now, to say that Shyne has had an interesting life is an understatement, because when you begin to detail the highs with the lows, along with the legal troubles and the beefs that he's been involved in, a 10-year sentence, being released and deported, only to be named the leader of Belize's United Democratic Party. Yeah, I would say that's interesting. Now, Shyne's journey will begin in a semi-small country of about 400,000 people, and he would eventually migrate to the United States at the age of 7, where his mother was settled in the Crown Heights neighborhood. They would soon move to nearby East Flatbush, where Shyne would get a real taste of the country. In interviews with Rolling Stone, he would self-admittedly label himself a bad kid, saying how school really wasn't for him, and he had a love for the streets. And when you mix that cocktail and put Brooklyn into play, trouble would be very easy to find, as Shyne would go on to join one of Brooklyn's most known and notable gangs at that time, the Decepticons. Now, not sure if it was due to his gang affiliation or not, but Shyne would find himself in an altercation with another young kid in the neighborhood. And in typical Brooklyn, I'll be right fashion, after the fight, the kid would return with a firearm. I remember early on in Shyne's career that I would hear it being some sort of a shotgun. And looking back at the story, it was probably him being shot on that Brooklyn street that would go on to change his life. In interviews afterwards going on, he would say that a lot of that was due to him growing up without a father or a lack of a father figure in his household. And sometimes situations like that are even easier when you don't know who your dad is or he never was around. But in Shyne's case, he knew exactly who his dad was, a high-ranking figure in the Belizean government that also had another family that one time told Shyne that his other kids were made out of love. Now, with being told something like that, a lack of support, and watching the mom struggle, after taking that bullet that would leave a 6-inch scar across his shoulder that easily could have been his chest or his head, he decided to slow it down a little bit and play the crib, where he would say that he would really get into music. Not only did getting shot probably saved his life by taking him off of the streets and putting him into music, he would also say that it made him more confident, as he would say early on he was a shy kid. But after staring down the barrel of a gun, something like that would just change him. And that ultimately would lead to him being able to freestyle at a local barbershop in the area. And it would be said that one of the people that was in attendance was a very known music exec by the name of Don Pooh, who is essentially credited with finding and managing Foxy Brown. But somehow between Don Pooh and DJ Clark Kent, Shyne would find his way to Puffy. Now, if anybody remembers early on in Shyne's career, he came on the heels of Notorious B.I.G.'s death. And at that time, a lot of people, almost everybody, would point out that his voice sounded very similar to the late, great Notorious B.I.G. And I remember several other artists, one being Gorilla Black from the West Coast, that voice had a resemblance to Notorious B.I.G. Though Shyne's style was a little bit different, some of his cadences reminded a lot of people of B.I.G. And I still, to this day, could remember the time when I was on my block on Clarkson, 161-7, Clarkson Avenue between Bedford and Rogers. And I happened to be speaking with one of the most nefarious guys that I would come into contact with in my entire life. And somebody that I grew up with actually on my block. And there was a young kid by the name of Sherrod who actually went by Hot Rod. R.I.P. to Sherrod, though. Now, I could probably do a mob ties on him. I remember when I first moved to Flatbush, the first day, my mom was doing some shit looking out the fire escape, and she said she seen some young kids smoking weed out the window. And first time we went outside together, she pointed out Sherrod and told me, hey, don't hang with him. Y'all could only imagine who was one of the first people that I started hanging with. But regardless of that, I remember Sherrod coming home from shooting a kid in the face while we was in junior high school. And one of the first times that I seen him that he came home, he would tell me about a rapper that was in our neighborhood that was going on to sign a huge deal with Bad Boy by the name of Shyne Kill. Now, me thinking to myself, I'm like, that name sounds stupid. I don't know if that's going to work. And kind of partially not believing it because, nigga, you just came home from jail. How you know? So it wouldn't be months before the first time I remember actually hearing Shyne would be on a remix to Puffy's song Public Enemy #1, where he came on and he smoked that shit to me. Then I would pretty much hear several other songs that had me like, yo, bro, crazy. Leading to me being a Shyne fan. And I would even admit today that some of that shit still go hard. Like Diamonds and Mac 10s, Shyne, Bad Boys. Yeah, some of that shit still rock. Now, I'm not sure if it would be his resemblance to B.I.G.'s voice or the bidding war that would ensue for people to try to sign him, because I remember Bad Boy being mentioned, and I also remember Undias being mentioned, a label that was ran by Notorious B.I.G.'s close friend, Lance Rivera, and a label that already housed Junior Mafia, as well as, I'm not sure if it was at that time, but Cameron at one time and Charlie Baltimore. Now, Shyne, who I remember hearing was cool with Junior Mafia at one time, would somehow fall out, with that fallout resulting in a shootout outside of Puffy's famed Daddy's House Studios that was located on the 300 block of West 44th Street in Manhattan. The New York Post would report that at 1:30 a.m. on the day of the shooting, Shyne would exit the studio and head to a club, Monaco, to have a drink. They would allege that it would be at that location that Shyne would get into a scuffle with a guy by the name of Damian Walker, who the Post describes as an associate of Lil' Kim. After said altercation, Shyne, who was accompanied by a lady friend, would head back to the studio, and when they would arrive at the lobby, 3 shots would ring out from a 9mm that would shatter the glass door entering the studio, with that glass injuring that female that Shyne was with, which would result in her receiving 38 stitches at nearby St. Luke's Hospital. Cops would go on to question Lil' Kim and C's, among others, at the studio, and the Post would allege that they would point the finger at 2 men that would be sitting downstairs in a red Mercedes. When police attempted to approach the Mercedes and speak to the driver, a guy by the name of Stan Johnson, he would turn them down and proceed to speed off. Cops would pursue the vehicle up 44th Street and between 11th and 12th Avenue, eventually capturing the 24-year-old Johnson from the Bronx and charging him with reckless endangerment and attempted assault of a police officer. Now, if that doesn't explain to you, or you still happen to wonder how deep the beef went, when speaking with MTV in late September of 2000, while MTV would be covering Shyne's highly anticipated debut album, Shyne, when Lil' Kim would be asked about the release, she would go on to say about Junior Mafia that we have no dealings with Shyne, going on to say that she recalled that she looked out for him early on in his career, giving him tips about the business, but now she feels like he's bad energy, saying that he was negative energy, saying that he's nothing that she wants to be a part of, while also saying that she doesn't understand why Puffy deals with the artist. A lot of people would blame those problems on the falling out of Shyne's decision to probably sign with Diddy instead of signing with but you never really know about that. But it would be a situation before Shyne's album would be released that would show some people why she would feel like that. And it would be an incident that would occur on 2 days after Christmas in 1999 that will go on to be documented as the famed Club New York shooting and would change Shyne's life forever. And just in a short rundown of the situation, Shyne would explain that Puffy would be in some kind of conversation or even an argument with some well-known street figures that Shyne even had knowledge of, and we happen to cover on this channel, Matthew Scar Allen. Now, not quite exactly sure what the beef was over, as it could have been for multiple things, but at the time of the shooting, it was painted in a situation where Scar would throw money into Puffy's face, essentially saying that we got money too, and Shyne, knowing the magnitude of these street dudes, just reacted with his trigger finger. Now, a situation like this would be huge no matter who was involved. But when you add Puffy and megastar Jennifer Lopez, who he happened to be dating at the time, the tabloids had a field day with this situation. And it also involved another well-known street figure that we covered. Shout out and RIP to Anthony Wolf Jones. Now, a lot of things will come up about Shyne, especially after his release from jail, because he would go on to serve 10 years for that shooting. People would question his rapping ability, how good he was. But one thing I never really questioned was his realness, as, like I said, Anthony Wolf Jones was in that club that night, and Shyne was the one that was busting the gun. And he had not even released the album on Bad Boy. His album was late and set to come out. Why did he even have a gun in the club? Shyne's debut album would drop after he was behind bars, and it would debut at number 5, selling 900,000 copies, pretty much almost going platinum. So he was pretty much a hot commodity, but that shooting would see him falling out with Bad Boy. And at the time of his incarceration, I remember another bidding war besides the first one that was going on for him when he was initially signed. And you would hear names like G-Unit and also super huge mega labels like Def Jam. And I would say that him signing that deal that he would eventually sign with Def Jam would result in a semi-feud that he would have with 50 Cent. Now, if anybody remember, this time 50 was going crazy, and 50 would be on Hot 97, and he was saying a freestyle over Jay-Z's 1900 Hustler, where the entire G-Unit, that included Young Buck, Tony Ayo, and Lloyd Banks, was up at the radio station freestyling. This was at the time when Flex would have the entire camps. If anybody remember, they had State Property. I remember up there. I remember a classic one. They had Mace, Cameron, and Cardan. But in this particular sit down, 50 would go on to say, I heard Irv trying to sign Shyne, so I ain't got no love for him. Tell him 50 said he's soft. He won't shoot up the club again. Now, Shyne, not one known to back down, would go on to release his own diss record, For the Record, that would appear on his Godfather Buried Alive project that was released under Def Jam. Upon being released from his 10-year sentence in 2009, he would be deported back to his homeland of Belize for being a non-citizen felon. And while in his homeland of Belize in May of 2010, you can probably say he had one of his biggest accomplishments when he would start his political career, when he would be named Belize Music and Goodwill Ambassador. And after being deported for being a criminal, he would return to the U.S. in August of 2021 to speak with U.S. politicians. So, in the infamous words of one of his songs, that's gangster. Now, y'all make sure y'all hit the red subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box, y'all flooded. Y'all know, let me know if y'all remember Shyne. Did y'all even feel Shyne? I see like it's like a 50-50 thing out there. Y'all let me know where he ranked as far as bad boy MCs, bad boy lyricists. And y'all let me know what cities we need to go to, what we need to cover, who we need to talk about, what stories we missed, what I got wrong. All of that, man. Shit got Popalot. Be back with a gang of mob shit. Stay tuned.